This is Richard Durwald. I'm the coordinator of the Erie County Senior Fitness Program. This presentation is about minimizing the effects of aging. And I'll start with this statement. Everyone wants to live longer, but no one wants to be old. And I think that's a fair statement. What does the word old mean? A new definition of old is a loss of mental and physical function. So the fact is that the term old is no longer based completely on age, but rather on how people actually function. There are some who are old at age 60, while others in their 80s or even in their 90s are older, but they are not old. We're going to talk again about minimizing the effects of aging. This, of course, is this photo with these three individuals shows the physical effects or the visual effects of aging. Some of those things we can't prevent, but what we can prevent is the way we feel as we go through these stages. I want to give you an example. Any of you people who long for the good old days, here's an example of where we are today. Meals on Wheels, a great organization, we've all heard of them. They've been delivering food and friendship since 1969. In 1970, the average age of people receiving home delivered meals was between 65 and 75. By the year 2010, the average age of the volunteers delivering home delivered meals was between 65 and 75. Can you imagine? That is how far we've come in that relatively short span of time. In the past 85 years, I should say, we have increased our expected lifespan by approximately 20 years. Somebody's calling me and say, no, we haven't, but yes, we have. Life expectancy hits a record high. Life expectancy in the gender gap narrows. Why? Why are we living longer than we lived in 1935? February 1935. Just think about this. In 1935, there was no Social Security. People born working before that time had to depend on their families. There was no check in the mail. There was no direct deposit. There was nothing. People either saved, most of all they had to depend upon their families. Oh, there was no government Medicare health care program. There was no health care program for the government for older people. 1935. What made it worse? 1935 was also the midpoint of the Great Depression. So anybody looking back at the good old days, that's a little snapshot of the good old days. No Social Security, no health insurance, and a national depression. One of the worst we've ever seen. May the 4th, a couple months after I was born, 1935, Franklin Roosevelt implemented the Social Security Act, providing ongoing monthly financial support for those over the age of 65. What a blessing that was to everybody. And can you imagine living then, before that time, in 1934, back to 1834, back to 1734. There was nothing for older people. Life expectancy in 1935, unfortunately, was only 63 and a half years. So when our President Roosevelt set the age for retirement benefits at 65, that meant the majority of people would die before they could even collect, based on those statistics for that time. Social Security in 1935, and for most of the 30s before the Second World War, was called Old Age pension and you were old because you were 65 or older. 1965, Lyndon Johnson signs the Medicare bill. You see next to him is another president, Harry Truman, and he got the very first Medicare card. That's why he was sitting there. So why are we living longer? Government programs for sure. Medical and pharmaceutical technology and sanitation, the environment. We've done so much with indoor plumbing, sanitation, controlling the air, the environment. It's been, all these things contribute to a longer life. Now we're going to jump forward to 1948. This is my friend Bob, who, by the way, I just talked to him on Sunday. And that's me, the little guy. And you can look at us here. In fairness to myself, Bob was 6'4", and still is. If you look at those two guys, you're not going to say that they had very much athletic promise. You know, always picked last for every team. Really not very athletic at all. However, and I love this quote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. That's from Napoleon Hill. That is me and Bob in 1954. Those are the two skinny kids. The good-looking one is me. That's the other fellow's Bob. And, but you can see that the changes that you can do for yourself. Why did I show this? To show that everyone, this must be a hate call, showing that everyone can achieve what they want. Everybody can feel their best, but it's up to you. Nobody helped us. Not even our parents discouraged us. Everybody discouraged us. But we did it, and we did it on our own. And you can do it on your own. And in doing so, you're going to minimize the effects of aging. Question. For everybody watching this, have you noticed that since age 21, your body has changed? You haven't noticed that? Well, go look again. This is important. This is really important. Physical decline. The structure, the firmness of your musculoskeletal system determines function and shape of your body. That means your muscles, your bones, your ligaments, your tendons. All those things determine how your body will look and how you're going to feel. Everyone fears the loss of independence. I'm getting old, I'm getting weak, I'm getting frail. No, a lot of that's up to you. That's up to you. You can do an awful lot for yourself. And you have the power to do this. And this is what we're talking about in this presentation. Mobility is provided by the musculoskeletal system. Minimizing the effects of aging. What two conditions are most responsible for age-related visual, physical changes? Can you guess? Oh, here's the first one. Osteoporosis. We all know about osteoporosis. There's one more that I bet you most of you have never heard of, and that is sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is muscle loss. We all experience it. Those two conditions are the things that make our body look old. Not only is it cosmetic, it's also physical and functional, that we don't allow these conditions to happen to us, because that is aging, my friends. Responsible for physical change, osteoporosis. That little graphic shows, and you see as people get older, their head comes forward, and they start to bend over a little bit. That's all caused by osteoporosis. Bone mass and age. Osteoporosis is when the bones become thin and fragile. It's associated not just with aging, but also with treatments for chronic disease. If this presentation were live right now, I would say, what does that mean? But also with treatments for chronic disease. It means one word: medications. Medications, quite often, For example, overprescription of a thyroid medicine will cause our bones to fall into a condition of osteoporosis. Can osteoporosis be prevented or lessened? Is there a medicine? Are there medicines for osteoporosis? Yes, they are. Fosamax and all those other things that are listed here. Pharmaceutical drugs. What a wonderful thing. People can take those and they're going to be fine. No, they're not. They're not going to be fine at all. The real fact is, they studied them, and I can't blame anybody for this. They studied for a couple of years. And boy, it worked. Everybody that was taking it were really feeling good. What happened was, after the third year, people started noticing problems. They were noticing problems. They were getting what they call spontaneous fractures of their femur, which is the largest bone in your thigh, the largest bone. Go ahead, look at this. Here are some of the adverse effects associated with osteoporosis medicine. Ulcers of the esophagus, upper GI irritation, irregular heartbeat, fractures of the femur, low calcium in the blood. Why is there low calcium in the blood? Because the medicines were drawing the calcium out and drawing it into the bones. Skin rash, joint and bone and muscle pain, jaw decay. The slide says it's rare. It wasn't rare. People, they could be having some oatmeal in the morning and their jaw would shatter like a crystal glass. And that was happening. It was happening not to a few or not to a few hundred, thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of people were getting the very thing they were trying to avoid by taking the medicines that were supposed to help them. The bottom line is the osteoporosis medicines did not work, do not work. You don't see many of them being sold anymore. What else is responsible for physical change? Sarcopenia. Never heard of that. Why? Well, I'll explain it for you in a minute. What is sarcopenia? It's muscle loss. You can see in the first, all the muscle we have in the top box and the bottom box, how it's disintegrated and how it's been replaced with fat. And it's that fat, the disintegration of muscle, which leads us to lose our body tone. Sarcopenia. There's another example of it. You can see the muscle of this drawing here, of this male that he's got all that muscle loss in his arms. And as you can see, it would cause the person to look different as the years go by. Here's an extreme example of sarcopenia. Complete muscle loss. Complete muscle loss. All you have here is flesh and a skeletal system. He's lost all the muscle. Are there any drugs to prevent or lessen the effects of sarcopenia? Yes. Unfortunately, they're called anabolic steroids. You hear about steroids all the time, referencing athletics and athletic performance. Yeah, they do work. They do work. They were never made for athletes. They were never made for young men and young women. They were originally made as a geriatric medicine to help people become stronger and more mobile. That didn't work that way because people who started taking it developed brain cancer, depression, violent behavior, yellowing of the eyes and skin, severe acne. Women, for example, who are training for bodybuilding, who are taking anabolic steroids, find out that their voice deepened quite a bit. By the way, I think I'm going to start taking them. I'm just kidding. You might as well take cyanide. A heart attack and stroke, which is, I think, would be kind of things that we don't want. Go ahead, Julie. The effects of osteoporosis and sarcopenia are shown right here in this three-phase drawing. There you have a healthy adult male. There you have someone at about age 65, and there is 75. What happened? Number one, the person has lost height. All the organs are protruding. The pot bellies you see on so many older people is they've lost their foundation. They've lost the ligaments, the tendons, the support, the muscle, all those things that they didn't have to lose. One fall or misstep could be life-changing because of one or both of these conditions, osteoporosis and or sarcopenia. Don't let it happen. The primary treatment for osteoporosis, the best known treatment for osteoporosis, is resistance exercise, which we're going to show you in a little while, using weights or resistance bands. They increase muscle strength, size, and endurance. It will improve an older adult's bone density and functional ability. Absolutely proven, 100% true. Resistance exercise, very, very important. How many times have you heard the person was suffering from dehydration? They found this old person, they were in a bad state. Well, once you know they're suffering from dehydration, here's the thing we should all be aware of. As we age, we can become dehydrated without becoming thirsty. We lose some of our taste, and we definitely, quite often, most individuals become less thirsty as they get older. Therefore, the impulse to drink anything goes away, which could be deadly. Hydration, water, and thirst. Drink at least 8-ounce glasses of water every day. I said 4. The doctors say 8. Any doctor who said that's got to be 30 years old. Because if you drink 8 glasses of water and you're 70 years old, you aren't going to travel very far for any length of time, because our bladders and other things just don't function the same way. But I'll tell you, if you do drink 4 8-ounce glasses a day, for most people, if you can drink more and you can hold it and it's not a big disadvantage, then by all means drink all you want and all you can. But if you're a person on the go, 4 8-ounce glasses of water a day should suffice. How many times have you heard it? The aged person was found to be suffering from malnutrition. The process of aging tends to reduce the efficiency of the digestive process. It is possible that an older person could be suffering from malnutrition even though their diet would be considered adequate. Why else would older people have to go to the doctor to get a shot of vitamin B12? At age 75, that same person didn't have to go when they were 35. The reason is our digestive system is not efficient as it once was. And that is the reason. One of the first things we stop absorbing is vitamin B12. And it continues from there. Proteins, vitamins, minerals, all the other things we need. Our digestive system becomes less efficient in distributing those things to our system. Older people need more protein than their younger counterparts. At one time that would have been considered a controversial statement, but now most experts consider it a fact. Protein, protein, protein. Water, water, water. Diet and digestion. These are the common things that most people look at when they look at their diet and at digestion. Okay, fiber, absolutely. Probiotics, which I personally take every day. Exercise, okay, especially lower body exercises. Walking, exercises shown right here, which we will show later, using resistance bands. And of course, fruits, vegetables. We all know about that. We see it in the newspaper, we see it on television. One thing that they do not promote very highly, which I've been doing for probably 25 years, is I take a digestive enzyme. Because I'm 85 years old. Most of the enzymes in my body are not working at their optimum efficiency. I take a digestive enzyme. They are dirt cheap. And it's funny because National Enzyme Company is the largest manufacturer of enzymes in the United States. 80% of their enzymes are sold to dog food and animal food manufacturers. People are worried about their animals having good digestion, but they haven't awoken to the fact that maybe they need a little help themselves. They're very, very cheap. You can buy them online. You can buy them at most drug stores, health food stores, all over. Digestive enzymes. Strongly recommended for your health and longevity. Let's look at Jack LaLanne. Here's one of my early heroes too from the 1950s. Even though I eat right, I take supplements as an insurance policy. I take everything from A to Z, including things like fish oil, cod liver oil, vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. Jack LaLanne took over 50 supplements every day. Jack LaLanne took over 50 supplements every day. Was he right or wrong? I don't know. You know, let's face it, he did just die, and you know, those supplements I guess just took his life away at age 97. So there's something to that. There is something to supplements, and I think more. Everybody will tell you, if you eat a balanced meal, you don't need supplements. That is not true, folks. That's not true. We've been kidded. Let's just say that a little bit. Or put another, we've been misinformed. At a White House ceremony, I'm sorry I didn't introduce this gentleman here. Meet Ray Kurzweil. At a White House ceremony, Kurzweil received the 1999 National Medal of Technology and Innovation, the United States' highest honor in technology from President Bill Clinton. He received $500,000 for the Levinson MIT Prize for 2001. And in 2002, he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame established by the U.S. Patent Office. He has received 21 honorary doctorates and honors from 3 U.S. presidents. PBS, the Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, included Kurzweil as one of the 16 revolutionaries who made America. Inc. magazine called him Edison's rightful heir. Maybe you never heard of Ray Kurzweil. Oh, here he is. Time magazine. Ray Kurzweil. And what does it say? The year man becomes immortal. I think the word immortal means live forever. I don't really know about that. That was probably just a headline grabber so people would buy the magazine. At any rate, he's predicting much, much, much longer lives for us in a relatively short period of time. We're at 2020 now, and we're talking about 2045. Wired says, live forever and save the world, Ray Kurzweil. There he is. Well, how does he plan on doing a lot of this? Next, meet the Google executive who plans to cheat death. Ray Kurzweil takes 150 vitamins a day so he can hold out long enough for invention of robots that will keep humans alive. He is chief engineer at Google. He is the highest paid person in the engineering staff of Google. He was a child prodigy. He met with Einstein when he was 15 years old. He went through MIT in 14 months, all 4 years. You can't discount a guy like this. He's not a biochemist. But he is Ray Kurzweil. And he invented an awful lot of things. He invented the keyboard, the musical keyboard that samples sounds, all those type of things. My understanding is he was a music virtuoso, prodigy at a very young age. He believes that the biology of the body is like a computer software that needs updating. Again, he's taken 150 vitamin supplements a day. But he says we will eventually hit a stage where robots will subsidize our immune system. Like for COVID right now, there'll be microscopic robots that they can put into us just like they would a vaccination. They can put these things right into our bodies, and they'll be our new immune system. The official position given by the medical community, and I'm talking to women only now, is that estrogen protects middle-aged women. But credible studies indicate another factor. It may be that premenopausal women are less likely to get heart disease because of the iron depleted during menstruation. This may be more important than estrogen's protective effect, especially since a majority of studies showed no benefit from the hormone when given to postmenopausal women. Iron could be the culprit, perhaps even worse than cholesterol. Think about this. Why did they pull this drug from the drugstore shelves? Remember Geritol? Geritol, tired blood. Take fast-acting Geritol. I defy anybody to go out of your house or get up off your chair, get in your car and go buy a bottle of Geritol. I got news for you. That Geritol is not this Geritol. That Geritol was all iron. And it did make you feel better for a while. It could also take you off the planet. Twice the iron in a pound of calf's liver. Geritol, great stuff. There's been studies all over Europe, especially in Belgium, showing the adverse effects of iron on the body. Arthritis. More than 1/3 of all adults in the United States suffer from osteoarthritis. Minimizing the effects of osteoarthritis. What's the first thing, maybe the only thing you have to do, is lose weight. Your maximum body weight should be perfect. If you're carrying anything extra around, because for every pound you lose, it takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees and 6 pounds off your hips. That is amazing. Can you imagine the effect of losing 20 pounds or 25 pounds? And how about those poor souls who have to lose 100 pounds? You're really flirting with disaster here now. Here's a prescription from the Arthritis Foundation. They tell us that motion is lotion. The more you move, the more you're able to move. Here's the effects of aging. It can often be reversed. And I've got a sample for you coming up. Before and after. I don't think so. That could never happen. The onset of physical decline can be significantly delayed or in some cases even reversed. Earlier in this presentation, I showed you a picture of 2 young guys, 2 boys. One, of course, was me, and the other was my friend Bob. And Bob became a personal instructor in Phoenix, Arizona. Very, very large complex. And he told me that in the dining room, by the main door, the residents always kept one chair open by that table. And this old fellow would come in every day with a walker. Come in with a walker or a wheelchair. He actually told the guy, "Why don't you come up, I have some time, and I will help you. I'll help you get the strength back in your legs." And he told my friend Bob, "No, that's not going to work because the doctor's already told me that I'm going to be going into a wheelchair next, and it's going to be very, very soon." So Bob wouldn't take no for an answer. He finally got him to come up. He had him working out. I'm going to show you some of these exercises in an upcoming exercise session. Strengthening his legs. He got to the point, instead of going to a wheelchair, yes, he could get rid of the walker, but he got rid of the walker for a cane. For a cane. Stronger. He was better. To the point that he could walk unassisted. And he could do some minor chores. Somebody, and this is certainly no knock to physicians, because probably no doctor or physical therapist ever would take the time that Bob took with this older gentleman to get him on his feet, to throw that walker away for a cane, and ultimately throw the cane away. The end of the story is that at this place they didn't serve much stuff with sugar, and the old fellow liked sugar. And so a couple of times a week, after dinner, he would walk out of the complex, walk down the driveway, turn down on the sidewalk, and get himself an ice cream cone. All by himself. No wheelchair, no walker, no cane, everything. He did it because somebody encouraged him. Most of the people that I know don't have a Bob to help them. What they really need, they got to get that help from themselves. They got to realize that they have the power. You have the power to get better, to drop some of those signs of aging, to become more vital, to become more alive. As people grow older, protein intake and regular resistance exercise are critical stimuli for muscle protein synthesis, therefore assisting maintaining muscle tone and strength. Exercise, protein, all those type of things that we've talked about today. Sarcopenia. Critical studies now prove your bones and muscles can rebuild themselves with the right nutrition. Again, protein and resistance exercise. You cannot increase bone density with just calcium. You also need magnesium, boron, copper, manganese, potassium, phosphorus, nickel, zinc, and selenium. You need all the minerals, all the things that we were getting on our food years ago. Unfortunately, a lot of the ground and a lot of the minerals in the ground have been depleted, and we're not getting them anymore. The only way to get it is through supplements. I'm sorry. Supplements are the key. How about a multi-mineral tablet? You take one tablet and you get all the things that I've just mentioned. Vitamin, mineral, and other sources. Research. Ray Kurzweil and lifeextension.com. By the way, a very good website. Just a couple last things is Erie County Senior Services offers everybody free membership in Club 99. And just like the first slide, it said it's 2019. This slide is old because right now Ann is 98 and Elmer celebrated his 100th birthday, and I think he's coming up on 101. He still attends the classes, and Ann is still the instructor at the North Buffalo Community Center. That picture is worth 10,000 words because all these people started with me. Very, very good. Everyone should know, learn about, and participate in Erie County Senior Services Club 99. Every resistance group, you're going to get a latex resistance band, free illustrated instructions, and free weekly group exercise sessions. Free. So, I said, that's it. This is the end of the presentation. Just one quote that I like. Those who think they have not time for bodily exercise will sooner or later have to find time for illness. Thank you for watching.